What's going on, guys? I got a pretty cool video for today. We're going to find out who EA thinks would win the 2020 NHL Stanley Cup. Now, just recently, they actually announced that the 2020 playoffs are going to be reseeded opposed to a bracket, which makes a lot more sense. The 2014 playoff opposed to 16. And there's no home ice advantage. All the teams are playing in one of the two host cities, so I think reseeding definitely makes it a lot more fair. But for a simulation here in NHL 20, it can be a lot tougher as their playoff mode is basically made for a bracket setup, not a reseeding setup. So I figured a way to do it. It's just going to be a lot more work. First things first here, guys. We actually have to sim the round robin for the top four teams. If you guys don't know who they are, I'll have them on screen right now. But in the West, you got St. Louis, Colorado, Vegas, and Dallas. In the East, you got Boston, Tampa Bay, Washington, and Philly. So they're going to remain the top four teams, but they're doing a round robin, one game against the other three teams to decide where they'll be 1 to 4. So as you can see here, basically, I'm just going to sim it kind of one game at a time, West and East side, 6 games total for each. I'll do that kind of off screen quickly for you guys and let you know how they end up. And real quick, guys, I want to thank ExpressVPN for sponsoring this video. If you've never heard of a VPN, it actually allows you to encrypt your data or reroute your IP address in just one click. Encrypting your data is especially useful as so many websites and services on the internet are always getting hacked. If you have any sensitive information out there, such as emails, passwords, banking information, you want to keep that protected. With ExpressVPN's encryption service, even a hacker with a supercomputer would still take billions of years to crack. I also really enjoy being able to reroute my IP to a different country, as being in Canada, so often there's a video or website that's only available to Americans. It actually works really well on Netflix. Now, I actually learned Canadian Netflix is one of the better ones as we get the Lord of the Rings trilogy, but if I went to US, you could actually watch Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, which is one of my new favorite movies. Also in the UK, they have Rick and Morty, one of my favorite shows. So just being able to bounce around different countries and get more access to content, whether it be on Netflix, YouTube, whatever, gives you so much more to watch. So if this sounds like something you guys would be interested in, you can find out how you can get 3 months for free by clicking the link in the description box below or going to expressvpn.com/tactics. So after seeing the round robin for the top 4 teams in each conference, guys, we actually have a bit of a shake-up here. In the West, Vegas finished first with 3 wins. Second, we have St. Louis there finishing 2-0-1. Then we have Dallas at 1-1-1, and Colorado there 0-2-1, didn't even get a win, so a bit of a change there. Over in the East, it's actually the exact same, but with Boston and Philly switching spots, which is kind of crazy. Philly went 3-0, Tampa Bay 2-1, Washington went 1-2, and then Boston, who actually won the President's Trophy, best team in the regular season, went 0-3 in the round robin, which again is a possibility. It could happen. I mean, they're still a 4 seed, so they're going to get a pretty good matchup. We actually didn't have any ties here. If there were to be a tie, it would just go to whoever had the better win percentage in the regular season, which basically just means whoever was higher ranked coming into that. So next year, guys, we're actually going to do the play-in round. As you can see, got it all set up here. So some pretty good matchups for sure. I think the best one's obviously going to be 8-9, Toronto, Columbus, Winnipeg, Calgary. Now this is a best of 5, so we'll sim through this, see who did the best in the play-in, and then we'll get started with the actual quarterfinals. So I just simmed through the first 3 games, guys. We actually didn't have a single sweep. Both Winnipeg and Pittsburgh were close. They were down 2-0, but came away with wins there. Pittsburgh, I think, was my prediction win the Cup, so that'd be pretty embarrassing if they got swept, but it is the EA sim. Lindholm currently leading in points there, 7-3 games, so it's in the next couple games here and see who's moving on. All right, guys, we got 1 game left in this round. Pittsburgh-Montreal, 2-2. Can Montreal pull off the huge upset? And they do. Wow, they beat Pittsburgh there 3-2. That's pretty crazy, honestly. So right there, you guys can see who the teams are moving on. Obviously, these aren't going to be the matchups. The top 4 seeds that had that playing round are now going to come in. And now that the playing round's over, guys, I thought it'd be fun to run the draft lottery simulator and see if one of the teams that just lost actually end up with a lottery pick. So obviously, for this, we'll use Tankathon. If any team below Buffalo ends up winning it, then we'll run the Phase 2 draft where the 8 teams that just lost all have an equal 12.5% chance at winning that top pick. Last night this review, Detroit picked first overall. Really hoping that happens again. Fingers crossed here. Let's go. I mean, we'll take it. We'll take it. So Arizona's picking first overall. Again, that means a team that was part of the play-in round, had a chance at the Stanley Cup, is now going to get the first overall pick, get Alexis Lafreniere. LA gets number 2, so basically they're going to take either Byfield or Stutzel, and then Detroit will get the guy that's left over. Honestly, I'm fine with that. I just wanted a top 3 pick. I want either Lafreniere, Byfield, or Stutzel. So next year we actually have to see which team who had a chance at the Cup is now going to pick first overall. So for this, I'm going to use an 8-sided die roller. Basically, if it's the number 1, it'll be A team, number 2, B team, and so on. Let's see who it is. 7.
No! God, please, no!
The Pittsburgh Penguins get the first overall pick.
I remember being disappointed, but at the same time, I almost had a little smirk on my face.
What a joke. That was literally the worst case scenario along with Edmonton getting the pick. I can't believe that. Alright guys, so we're officially getting started with the playoffs now. In terms of record keeping, I don't think the play-in round counts, so in terms of like how many playoff points a player had, and we got some really good matchups here. So in the West, we have Vegas and Calgary, St. Louis, Vancouver, Dallas, Nashville, Colorado, Edmonton. I think I like that one the most, McKinnon versus McDavid. Over in the East, kind of funny actually. So if they stuck with the old bracket system, you still would have had Philly and Montreal and Boston and Toronto, which I think is hilarious. They're still matched up, but Boston and Toronto would have been on the top, Philly and Montreal on the bottom, and as it turned out, they still ended up playing each other. Then you got Tampa Bay, New York, which I think is really cool. Obviously, a lot of players on those two teams have been on the other side, and then Washington and Florida as the final matchup in the East. Again, some good matchups here. We also now start the best of 7, so hopefully we get some good series. So we're 4 games into the playoffs, guys, and just like the play-in round, we have no sweeps. Colorado's really close, up 3-0 on Edmonton, but they were able to win that 4th game. Same goes with Philly. They were up 3-0 in Montreal, but they pulled back, won Game 4. Some other good series there, tied up 2-2. So we'll keep it going here and see how things shake out. And how fitting is this, guys? We only have 1 Game 7 in the first round, and of course it's the classic, Toronto versus Boston. And Marchand's leading scorer in this round, 9 points in 6 games. So I figured we'll simulate this one for you guys, period by period. There's actually been no upsets so far in the East, and the only upset in the West has been Nashville. But we'll see what happens in this game. So after the first period, Boston's up 1, Marchand with the goal. 2-1 now, McAvoy and Kerfoot, 3rd period. And 3-1, Boston again gets the better of the Leafs, Charlie Coyle there. And like I was saying, guys, looking at the playoff tree here, you can see every single favorite one except for Dallas losing to Nashville. Now, the matchups in the semifinals aren't correct as we have to reseed again. So I think we'll have Vegas, Nashville, St. Louis, Colorado, and then we'll have Philly, Boston, Tampa Bay, Washington. So let's see what happens next. Also, guys, real quick, I want to show you the leading scores for that first round. So Marchand and Bergeron both had 10 points. Kuznetsov, Kucherov, Point, Johansson, Pastrnak all had 8. It kind of sucks these points don't carry over to the next round, but I figured I'd still share them with you guys. And through 4 games of the second round, guys, every single series is tied up 2 apiece except for Boston, Philly. Boston's currently leading 3-1. Coyle there, 6 points, 4 games. I actually saw Sean Couturier had 6 assists in 2 games, so I guess he's been scoreless the last 2. Definitely have to pick it up here if Philly wants to make a comeback. And here we go, guys. The conference finals are set. We have Vegas versus Colorado in the West. Vegas beat Nashville in 6. Colorado beat St. Louis in 7. And then in the East, we have Tampa and Boston. Boston beat Philly in 5. Tampa beat Washington in 6. So should be some pretty good matchups. McKinnon there currently leading the playoff scoring, 10 points in 7 games. See what happens next. So we're 4 games into the conference final, and it's not looking good for Vegas and Tampa. Both of them down 3-1 in their series, and McKinnon's still turning it up, 15 points in 11 games. We'll see if either of those 2 teams can make a comeback. So Colorado beat Vegas in 5, moving on to the Stanley Cup final, but Tampa Bay actually pulled back, forced a Game 7 here with Boston. Let's see what happens. Boston, though, holds on to it just like with Toronto. So we have a Boston-Colorado Stanley Cup final. I think this is actually a pretty popular Stanley Cup final matchup a bunch of people are picking. Both 8-4 through these playoffs. And William Karlsson's currently leading the playoffs in scoring, 16 points in 11 games. Unfortunately for him, Vegas got eliminated. So I think for the Stanley Cup final, we'll actually simulate this period by period, kind of see how this thing shakes out. So first game, Boston's up 1 there with DeBrusk, Carlo, Pastrnak, and wow, pretty big statement win there for Boston, 5-0 game 1. So game number 2 here, and Colorado actually answers back, 2-0, McKinnon and Kadri. Boston pulling close though, Wagner gets 1, so it's 2-1. And unfortunately for Boston, Colorado holds on there, 3-2 win, so series is tied 1-1. So game number 3 here, guys. Forgot to mention too, technically this would be played in Colorado now. There's no way to make like a neutral site, unfortunately, in the playoff mode, but I don't really think home ice advantage plays too much of a factor in the sim. So game 3 here, and Rantanen, 1-0 for Colorado. Boston ties it up with Ritchie, and Ritchie again, Pastrnak. Boston goes up 2-1. Big game 4 here. Boston has a huge chance to pull ahead in this series, and 3-1. They're looking pretty good after the first period. Rantanen again gets 1 in the first. Second period, Colorado does get 1, but it's 5-2 Boston. And they do hold on there, 5-2. So 3-1 series lead now. All they have to do now is win one of the next 3 games, and the Stanley Cup is theirs. McKinnon's definitely trying hard, 19 points, 16 games, doing everything he can, but he's definitely got to pick it up here. He wants his team, staying alive. So Kadri, 1-0. Boston answers back. Could it be in the 3rd period they become Stanley Cup champions? We're going to OT. McKinnon, I called him out, and look at that. OT hero. Keeps Colorado's Stanley Cup hopes alive. Game number 6 now. Here we go. And Boston's up 1. Nick Ritchie. Colorado answers back with 2, though. Kadri Nieto. And I think Boston ties it. Another OT. Can McKinnon do it back-to-back games? Okay, I saw Colorado score. I was wondering if it was McKinnon. But still, Donskoy gets it done in OT. That's crazy. Boston has 2 games in a row. They're 1 goal away from the Stanley Cup. Both times they blow it. Game 7, Stanley Cup final. Boston, Colorado. This would be awesome to watch. I would love, actually, for this to be a Stanley Cup Finals. Here we go. First period, 1-1, Bergeron, Burakovsky. Second period, Nick Ritchie. I feel like we just got to resume this thing. Just got to, like, put the controller down, let this thing play. Boston got the 1-goal lead. The captain, Landeskog, answers back. Got the power play. Marchand gets it done. Obviously, he was looking pretty good in these playoffs. Another power play. Avalanche, no discipline. Still, though, 10 minutes left, down by 1. Anything can happen. I just noticed they're getting outshot like 2-1, which is not good. Rask's a good goalie. You got to put more on him than that. 2 minutes left. They need a hero. Okay, McKinnon, and he can't. There we go. Boston Bruins are your Stanley Cup champs. Honestly, I'm going to give him credit. You know, you blow 2 OTs, come back, win game 7, 3-2. You got to respect that for sure. So, big win for Boston. As you can see, they are the Stanley Cup champions. Take a quick look here at the playoff tree from the second round in. Obviously, Boston had a rough start. They went 0-3 in the round robin, but didn't matter. They then beat the Maple Leafs in a best of 7, beat Philly in 5, who went 3-0 in the round robin, beat Tampa Bay in a best of 7, Colorado in a best of 7. Definitely earned this Stanley Cup. McKinnon, though, actually had the most points, 21 there in 19 games. I assume Conn Smythe would probably go to a Boston player, though. Marchand also had 21 points. So, yeah, if it's not going to him, probably going to Rask. Take a look here at his stats. 12-4-3, 1 shutout, .921, and 2.34. So, yeah, best goals against here by far. Honestly, I'm leaning towards Rask. His save percentage there is the 3rd best, and the other 2 guys barely played. And his goals against when compared to actual goalies, not backups, is way better by far. Vasilevsky there, 2.66, the next best. So, there you have it, guys. Boston Bruins are your Stanley Cup champions, according to EA. Let me know what you guys thought about this simulation in the comment section below. Besides that, hopefully you enjoyed this one. If you did, leave that thumbs up. Thank you guys so much for watching. Have a nice day. Goodbye.